Good evening, good evening, everybody. Welcome to JTraedz TV, where we discuss all stock-related contents and much more. Guys, happy Valentine's Day to everybody, man, to you and your loved ones, man. Wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. I was just doing a quick little live stream, man, because I'm going to do today and tomorrow. Because if I'm not mistaken, from what I've seen on the calendar, I think the market should be closed Monday because we do have Washington's birthday slash President's Day. So if I'm not mistaken, I think the market should be closed Monday. So we'll be breaking down everything, trying to prepare ourselves for next week. Let's go ahead. I ain't going to worry about the news right now. We're going to just dive into the recaps, economics, earnings, and so forth. As far as SPY goes, guys, recap from Friday, we did have an open of 681.69, a high of 686.28, a low of 677.52, a close of 681.75, and a volume of 96.1 million. Let's go ahead and see what we got as far as our economic goes, guys. Coming up for next week. As far as what's up, Ingrid? I just hit you up. What I'm gonna do right now, Queen, is I'm gonna do like a little session, like a little small, like a little, I would say somewhat of a little boot camp. You know, just try to, get a lot of traders to have a clear mind of how to set themselves up for trades and understanding patterns. And so we're gonna do like little simple breakdowns like that. Now I'm gonna go over SPY too, because it was a specific pattern which you liked on my Discord. It was a pattern that I kept screaming out. I said there's a specific pattern on SPY that we could see forming, and sure enough, Aussie, we formed that pattern. And before I say all of that, I want to wish you and the hubby a happy and blessed Valentine's Day, and I wish y'all many more happy Valentine's Day to come. So salute to you and salute to Tango. Thank y'all for always being my day ones. Thank y'all so much for everything. Appreciate you, Queen. Let's go ahead and dive and go into my economics. Guys, as far as economics of next week, as of the 16th, we do have a holiday coming up, so the market should be closed for Monday. That's going to be That's going to be our President's Day, aka George Washington's birthday. Tuesday, I don't see anything really that's going to stand out as far as economic goes. Wednesday, we're going to have at 8 o'clock, we're going to have, I don't know, 8 o'clock, that's kind of weird, instead of 8:30. We're going to have durable goods order that's going to be at 8 o'clock. And at 2 o'clock, we're going to be having the FOMC meeting minutes. Not the meeting, the minutes. That's going to be Wednesday. That's going to be the 18th. Yeah, no private all, Queen, man. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate you. Yeah, so I just wanted to do a quick little live stream, and if anything y'all want to go over, like Queen, if you have anything in particular, like any tickets you want to go over in particular, we'll break it down. We'll go over SPY, going over things that, people may miss, that people may overlook. And the thing that I was talking to you about the 15-minute time frame, we're going to go over that too to help a lot of traders out. To show them a little key on how, the 15-minute can help them as well. Because I did take a trade towards the end of the market. So remember how we was going through a lot of ups and downs towards the beginning of the market and lunch hours. And I'm gonna break it down on what I did and how I got a good little trade towards the end of the market. Yes, I took a risk with a 0 DTE, but it panned out because I started setup and I went for it, like literally towards the end of the market close. So I was able to get in and out, and I'm gonna break it down on how I did it. Thursday, guys, on the 19th, we do have the Philadelphia Fair Manufacturing. That's going to be at 8:30. Also with the initial jobless claims. And 12 o'clock, we're going to have crude oil inventories. Friday, which will be the 20th, we're going to have PCE data, GDP. That's going to be at 8:30. 9:45, we're going to have S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. Prices and services, 9:45. And then we're going to have new home sales at 10 o'clock. So really nothing major really standing out as far as economic goes. So look like we're gonna have a little smooth selling for next week as far as economics. So nothing to really worry about. So I'm gonna be really focused on patterns and the setups for next week. Let's see what else we got. As far as earnings, like I said, no major companies at this moment, that really draw my attention. Just a few retail sale companies. We will be having Monday. They're showing that we're gonna have what is that? RNW. I'm gonna make sure that's I see that clearly because it's all blurry. Yeah, RNW. That's gonna be before the market opens, and then SON. Like I said, I don't really see anything that stands out that we really go over. You're gonna have Walmart. That's gonna be Thursday before the market opens. But I don't really see anything major. Like, guys, no major earnings. Just a few real retail companies here and there, but nothing that we normally focus on. So nothing really even standing out as far as earnings go as well. Now, As far as holidays, guys, as I told you guys, do be mindful Monday. From what I'm seeing and what I did research, the market should be closed Monday. That'll be Washington's birthday, President's Day. And I'm going to definitely keep it on watch just to make sure that nothing is moving. And I'm going to definitely just be tuning in on Monday just to make sure that, again, confirm that the market will be closed Monday. But we should be having President's Day. That'll be on the 16th. The next holiday coming up, that's not going to be until April. That's going to be Good Friday, so it's nothing else to worry about. All right, with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and hop into what a lot of traders may have overlooked throughout the week. So, I see the chart in Discord. Yeah, and you remember I was telling Fever that. Remember I was in the Discord saying that. You was in the Discord with me Friday, Queen, when I simply told Fever, I said, boss, I see a potential inverted cup and handle pattern forming, and that's what I'm about to break down right now. Because, and that's another thing that I look at, guys. And the reason why I look at patterns is because I always ask myself, are we gonna return back to the areas that we started to take off at? Like for example, guys, we wound up getting our way back above that 672.50 and went on this nice little move to the upside. But then we started channeling this week, Monday through Wednesday. So Monday we ranged, Tuesday we ranged, Wednesday we ranged, and then Thursday we wind up having that nice little sell-off that created a inverted cup. Then the handle, you already know we're gonna have a handle to form. The question was, where was that high of that handle was gonna be? So far it looked like the handle was right at 86. So if you notice, guys, all we did Friday was reclaim 680, got that push up towards 686. So all we did really in reality was go on a $6 push. So we ran $6 up and then we came back roughly $6 all the way back down. All we did, guys, was create a green to red move. Now, also, I'm gonna break down that 15-minute how it helped me get into that trade. Even though it was risky, I had a 0 DTE. And it was towards the end of the market, and yeah, it was risking a lot because a lot of buyers could have left out of those contracts. I could have been stuck in that contract, and I'm gonna tell you what caught my attention. So what I did was I was trying to figure out, because remember, we was catching hell at the beginning of the market and lunch hours because everybody contracts were getting ate up. It wasn't moving a lot, so I had to figure out. I'm like, okay, if I already missed the upside, you know me, you know me better than that. I'm not chasing the upside. So my question is, now that we made a move towards the upside, are we going to start to get a reversal in due time? Which we started getting a reversal, and we're going to go down to each time frame to break it down. So based off the 1 hour, like I said, I used 3 different time frames. So I used the 1 hour. So for those, if it helps you guys, I used the 1 hour to understand direction, to understand patterns. So as once I get that confirmed on the 1 hour, then I go into my 5-minute, 15-minute time frames to trade within that range. So I noticed the pattern. I started to see an inverted cup. I started to see that from last week into this week, and I seen was a huge inverted cup and handle pattern. So once I seen the cup, again, the question was, okay, where are they trying to push up to? The area that we could not break out, that we kept hitting, was 686. 686 can never break out. So 686 became a wall, and then we wound up reversing back down to the downside from 686 all the way back down to the 680s. So right here, with the 1 hour, you can clearly see the inverted cup and handle pattern. So now what we're going to do is going into next week, is all we're going to do is just take this range. We know right now between 686 to 685, we know that's going to be resistance as of now. So now we need to focus on, okay, where are the bottoms going to be? How far can we pull back down? So the areas that I do see, again, is going to be around the 680s. You can see right here where we held from 680s down towards that 677.50 where we had that bounce. From that key area, the next levels that I do see further down is going to be back down towards that 672.50s, possibly down to 670s. So, and another thing that I'm also looking at, and I'm gonna go into my 15-minute time frame also, and my 5-minute time frames, preferably my 15-minute time frame, to kind of show you the pattern that I do see going into next week. So we already confirmed the inverted cup and handle pattern that already occurred. You can clearly see this. And for those who can't see it, let me go ahead and draw it out for you guys. So if you go here, guys, look right here, cup and handle. And there you go. There you go, your inverted cup and handle pattern right here. That's your inverted cup and handle pattern. So as I stated, from last week going into this week, Monday we range, Tuesday we range, Wednesday we range, then we wind up getting rejected right underneath that what it was, 595.30, 594 level. We got rejected. It started to get that pull back down to the downside right here. And then going into Friday, we started to create a what? Lower high build. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that that pattern, and we're going to take a deeper look into the 15-minute time frame, 5-minute time frame. So right here, what I did was on this, guys, I removed my pre-market and my post-market and primarily focused on the intraday setup to see the setup from each day. So as you can see, from Wednesday going into Thursday into Friday, what are we building, guys? We are building higher lows. So we are already starting a downtrend Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now the question is, are we going to have a continuation going into next week? Monday, Tuesday, and so forth, as we get rejected at these areas. Now down into the I'm looking at the wrong chart. I'm so sorry, Queen. SPY. I do apologize. I had IWM. SPY right here, still a downtrend. I'm sorry. SPY. I do apologize. From the 94s down into the 80s. So you can clearly see that we still have this downtrend setup going on, guys. We still have this downtrend setup going on. So you can clearly see from Thursday into Friday, and I'm so sorry, I do apologize. I was looking at IWM because I was trying to, because I sometimes I use IWM to trade, but I would still watch SPY's chart because they kind of coincide with one another. So it's like it follows it. IWM follows SPY in a sense. So, but I know SPY's price points really well. So I know if SPY is making a certain pattern, a certain movement, I know IWM is going to follow it. And now the reason why half the time I jump in IWM, the contracts are cheaper, where I can still make, still go in the same direction as SPY. So that's kind of like my little shortcut to it. But going down into SPY's breakdown, as you can realize, guys, Thursday we got rejected, got that nice little pullback down to the downside. Thursday, and you can clearly see, and going to Friday, we have a downtrend setup occurring. So we are ready to crack from the 95 levels all the way into the pretty much 80 levels, guys, right now. So keep in mind that we still have this setup going on. So as we go into Monday, the question is, are we going to run back up now that we're building lower highs? I'm thinking, and honestly, I'm thinking to myself that since 96 that we couldn't break that key area, and now that we keep creating this downtrend setup, could 94 be next? Could 94 be the next wall down into the 82s down into the 80s, as those sellers are slowly moving the buyers out of the 80s now into the 70s. So I'm gonna definitely keep my eyes peeled to see, because right now, as I told you guys, that 677.50 was a bottom. That was Friday's pre-market, not pre-market, intraday bottoms, where we got that nice move back up. Now, also, I'm gonna tell you what I did Friday. I'm gonna tell you what I did on how I caught the trade at the end, because you remember I was getting frustrated, with this situation. So I had to figure out, how can I catch another trading opportunity? So what drew my suspicion, or what drew my attention, Queen, was that I realized that 686 could not break out. 686 coast. So what I started to do was, and shout out, and you follow him. Shout out to K Capital. So I started to understand, because he always talking about a 15-minute time frame and how he uses the 15-minute time frame. So what I did was, I was like, okay, how can I use the 15-minute time frame to the best of my ability? How can I trade using a 15-minute time frame? So as we kept getting rejected right here, Queen, once we pulled back and we got that bounce right back to retest the 686, then I started to count my 15-minute time frames towards the downside. So what I started doing was, once we started getting that first initial red candle, all I was doing was watching the close of each candle from this red candle here. Let me maximize it just a little bit. So that's what I did. So I already knew what my price point was for the tops. The question was, where was my exit going to be? So I had to figure that out. So I knew in my head, I was like, okay, I know we can go from 86 down to 84. Can we get that pullback down to the 82s to 80s? So I took a risk right in this little level here, right underneath 86. So I got into this red candle here and actually started to play it back down to the downside. So my risk was going to be at this first red candle high, which is around 86. So what I started to do, with the candles after that red candle, could any of those candles push back to that high? Once I got confirmation that, once this candle formed and these other candles formed after that wasn't pushing back up to the 86, I was cool and calm. So once this candle formed, this is where my risk was going to be. So right here was 86 for me. So after that, I was waiting for the next candle. Could this next candle push up towards this high? Now, if it would have pushed back towards the 86 up, it would have stopped me out, right? So once this candle couldn't get all the way back up, because the high on this one was 685.71. So pretty much 30 cents underneath the 686. So cool. It could not push back above 86. All right, cool. Fine with that. All right, so now after this candle closed out, okay, could, long as every other candle after 86 stays underneath 86, start to show weakness, start to pull back down, I was comfortable letting it ride. I was comfortable letting my contracts ride on down. So my goal was to go from 686 to 684. From 684s down to the 682s. Because in my mind, I know I already knew today it was going to be, not today, but I knew Friday, I was like, it's risky. It's towards the end of the market. Buyers could be leaving out of that contract. Let me see, can we get a nice reversal back down? We already got a nice push to the upside towards 86. Can we now get rejected and fall underneath 86? So I started thinking $2 increments. So I started thinking 86, 84s, 82s, down to the 80s. Now, the reason why I didn't ride it all the way down to the 80s because it was already cutting close towards the market close. Because you got to keep in mind, right here what I have set up, this is intraday. So it's not post-market and pre-market. So I know that I had to get out because, again, I'm using the 0 DTE. It's a Friday. Let me not risk it of being caught in the contract that I cannot get out of. Let me take the meat of the move and be fine with it. Because from 686 down to 682, that's a $4 pullback. So that's what I started to do. So once I seen this initial candle here, I started to ride this bad boy on down, started to see the weakness. We started to fall underneath the 9 MA, the 20 MA, back down to the VWAP. So now right here, once we got to this level, can we crack the VWAP down to the 682s? And this is the area that I got my happy self out instead of riding it all the way down to 80. Because again, Friday, and I just didn't want to take no chances. So I got out. So from 86 to 82s, $4 pullback, I was good with that. So now the question is, how are we gonna set up going into next week? So we know now the sellers already done took over 686. So the question is, will we get a continuation pullback going into next week? Can we see the continuation downtrend back down towards the 80s into the 70s? So that's gonna be the $1 million question. We already know that 86 is gonna hold up as a brick wall. That was Friday's resistance. So now the question is, going into Monday or Tuesday, can we start to build even lower highs? Can we now fall and get rejected underneath 84s, now down to the 82s? From the 82s, and I'm talking about guys after buyers try to push it back to the upside. From the 82s down to the 80s. Can we go from the 80s down into the 78s and so forth? So I'm gonna definitely keep my eyes peeled for next week, guys, because right now all I'm doing right here is just identify myself with the setup that we have right in front of us from Thursday, Friday, to see can we get this continuation sell-off towards the downside, towards the 78s, back down towards the 76s. So that's going to be my question. But notice how even after I took the post-market off and pre-market off, I still get a nice pretty setup. And this is all intradays put together. Thursday and Friday, again, showed a downtrend setup without even including post-market and pre-market. That's still giving me a pretty setup, still giving me an idea on how are we, ending this week, now going into next week. So we already know Friday we could not get above 86. We know that's gonna be a wall. We already know that. Now the question is, are we gonna be fighting this range in between 86, 84 to 82s? That's gonna be my question. So if this downtrend can continue, I will continue to play the downside. So what I want to see from this setup going here, after we get this push on up, will sellers move down to 84, block those buyers, and then reverse back to the downside, thus continuing the downtrend towards these bottom low key areas. So even this is on the 15-minute time frame, guys. So watch now, and I'll go ahead and put my post-market and pre-market. See, this is just intraday by itself without post-market and pre-market. So if I do go to post-market, if I add it, this is how it's gonna look. So let me go to equities and let me go ahead and put post-market and pre-market. So this is what you're gonna see. So see, you kind of get the same setup in a sense. You get a downtrend setup. Now, but if I go back to intraday alone, take everything off, post-market and intraday, I still get a good setup. I still get a decent, pretty clear understanding on what the market is doing. I understand the reversal. I still understand a cup and handle pattern. That's on a 15-minute time frame. Like I said, right here, okay, now that I got you right now, Aussie, right now, intraday, that's not including post-market and pre-market. So far with intraday, because that's what we trade. The bottoms, this is gonna be from last last week. Last week bottoms is gonna be right around the 75, 80-ish level. So in other words, Aussie, the goal is to pull back down to these lows here first. Right here, you can see where the bounce occurred at. So that's gonna put you around. If you want to round it off, let's just say 676, right? Let's say 676. Let's say if that's the goal and we're trying to go towards that area, then okay, we need to stay underneath 84s going into next week. So as we do push on up, because we know buyers gonna try to either push up and so forth. If they so happen to push up, we want to stay underneath 84, back down to the 82s, to the 80s, crack back down into the 70s, 78s, pushing us back down to these bottom areas as we continue towards the downside. So what I'm gonna look at is as far as going into next week, Aussie, at the 80 levels that's holding at this moment, and down towards these areas of 676. So those are going to be my idea of bottoms at this time. I mean, you can clearly see it on the chart what buyers stepped in at. So you can see right here, right around the 676. I mean, I know we came down as low as 75, 79. But if we round it off, we're going to go by even numbers. We go say 76. We'll say 76. So even if I was to stretch this out this way, I mean, look at it. They all connect. Bottoms. So we know where the buyers will be sitting at, or where buyers will try to protect us right around this, 675, 80 to 676 level. Because we done seen it happen time and time again where we bounce. And also we have this key level of what? 681 to 680. So we know that we have that level. But if we are looking at it for the downside, I am anticipating that we can get a crack underneath that 680s back down towards the 676 ranges, where we will continue this downtrend setup going into next week. So, however, if buyers do so happen to step back in, we know the levels that we need to break out. We know the level that we need to take out, which is Friday wall, which is what? 686. So we know we need to take that out. So the best thing to do right now, Aussie, is to look at the range that we have right in front of us. That's the best thing to do. And this is my 15-minute time frame. So let's take Thursday and Friday setup. So we know that we got 686. Thursday, 686. Friday, 686. So we know that's going to be a brick wall going into next week. Bottoms wise, we know we have around 680s down towards the 678s, because that was the bottoms that we pulled down to Friday at the beginning of the market. We pulled down towards 678, and then from that level we just bounced our way back up towards 680s, ran our way up towards 686, and then started to pull back down. So you can pretty much see the rotation. So you can pretty much see where the buyers came in at 678s, 680s, right? And then we pushed up as high as 686, and then we had a nice pullback. So the main thing that we're going to watch first and foremost is 680s. 680s, we're going to watch that clearly. And then from 680s, we want to see can sellers pull back down, low down towards the 670s, 678s and so forth. But the pattern that we do have right in front of us right now also is a downtrend setup, Thursday and Friday. You can clearly see that. So the question is, can we get that continuation downtrend going into next week? Can we see the further pullback? 684s, 682s, 680s, back down into the 670s. So I'm gonna definitely keep it on watch and watch this setup to see on how we're gonna handle up. After this inverted cup and handle pattern already formed, can we get this continuation sell off to the downside? So that's gonna be the question. But we know where the main top is gonna be 686. We know this. So that's gonna be my focus. But from what I'm looking at, also, is that I do want to see a continuation sell off. So I do want to see a continuation sell off, and also let's look at the weekly chart as well. And what are we doing right now, Queen? How long have I been talking about this red trend line over and over and over and over? Remember, these are weekly candles. So that means every week we come up to that trend line, pull back, 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 which is holding up as a strong brick wall. Again, when was the last time we hit that trend line? That was all the way in 2021, 2022, when we had that nice bearish market in 2022. Then we wind up rebounding our way back on up, creating a cup and handle pattern and breaking out. Like I said, the only thing that was concerning to me, and let me maximize it so you can see a little bit better too. Now, the only thing that is concerning to me right now, Aussie, is this setup here. All right, let me break it down. I'm gonna break it down from 2 case scenarios. Right now, we're still looking weak, up a shadow. This week already closed off in red. So it looks like what's gonna happen going into next week, Aussie. Because you got to see, remember, these are weekly candles, right? That means, look at the reality of it right now, right? Remember, this is a weekly candle. This is the candle that just closed out this week, Monday through Friday. Look what we closed out at underneath the 13 EMA, right? Look at this candle. That's Monday through Friday. We closed down below the 13 EMA. So that means going into next week, we're going to be opening up underneath the 13 EMA. So we could be seeing a possible gap down. So if you notice, look where we closed at. Because remember, your candle, red candles closes down, your green candle closes up. So that means that this week, Monday through Friday, that we ran up as high as towards, what was the high this week? We ran up as high as 697.14, and we closed all the way down towards, what was the close? 681.75. And look where we closed at. We closed underneath the 13 EMA on the weekly time frame, Aussie. So that means that next week, we're going to be pretty much closing down towards the 681s down to 680s. So that means that we may be getting welcomed already to some downside coming. So that means that this bad boy could slowly start to shift, pulling back down this way, which will require us to fall underneath the 680s, possibly all the way back down to the 670s. So keep that in mind, because again, these candles, each represents a week. This was this week. That means we closed red. That was the previous week, the week after that, and so forth. And we still have not maintained and still have not gotten above what? That red trend line. Red trend line is still holding up as a brick wall. This week closed out in the red. We did close underneath the 13 EMA. So that means that next week's candle is going to be opening up towards the lower end of the 80s. So that means that we could possibly see more pullback down to these lows, these weekly lows. That's a possibility. This week low, we came down as low as what? 677.50. And then we came down towards this low of what? 675.80s. Yeah. Think about it, Queen. Again, this is a week. This time frame that I have right here, this is weekly, Monday through Friday. That means that this week that just closed out, we closed out downward. We closed out underneath the 13 EMA. See, before then, we was holding up on the 13 EMA. We would hold up, bounce, hold up, bounce, hold up, bounce. But look how we closed it. We ran up towards that trend line once again, held up at strong resistance, and then got rejected. Fell underneath the 13 EMA. So we're no longer bouncing on top of this bad boy. We're closed underneath it. So that means that now that 13 EMA is going to be resistance. So that means going into next week, we're going to be welcomed into a lot of resistance that's going to be right above our heads. So we're not only going to have the 13 EMA of next week, we're going to have this week's close and these levels that we could possibly pull back down to, which we could see 677s down to the 675s. We could pull back down to the previous week lows. We could pull back down towards the lows of next week. It's the truth. So we could be pulling back down. That, where we could fall down towards this trend line. Basically create a rotation. In other words. So let me go ahead and get my drawing. So we could be falling from this trend line, right? Because remember, we could not get above it. We could not stay above it. We ran up towards it this week. We got rejected once again. And then pull back down. So we could be pulling back down towards this trend line. That's going to put us around what? 670. That's going to pull us this way, right to that trend line. Now, what the question is, will buyers try to step in and rebound back off of that trend line back up towards the upside? It's $1 million question. Or will we crack that trend line and pull back even lower? Will we crack that trend line and pull back down towards our where? Old bouncing area where? 650. And you remember what our old breakout level was, right? Our old breakout level, well, let me go to the whole entire thing. Our old breakout level was where? 613. So if you go back a little bit, go back. See where your old breakout level was at? All the way back down to 613. So we know the closest area first is going to be 650. Because this is where you had to bounce at. You pulled back, you bounced. You pull back, you bounce. So if it so happens to be a bearish week, next week, let's just say it's bearish. You do have room to fall back down to the low key areas of 670s, possibly down to the 660s, but even back down to these lows of 650s. Now, the question is, will we have enough buyers to maintain and hold 650 back up, or will we crack 650s and come down even lower to this old breakout zone, which is around 613? But we know that we need to kind of prep ourselves up going into next week, that we may see some more downside coming based on how we close. We close underneath the 13 EMA, closing down this way towards the low areas of 680s. So be mindful of that. That's all I'm saying. Now, could we get a little bounce back up? Yes, we could get a bounce back up, but we got to keep in mind we're going to have a lot of resistance above our heads. We still gonna have 84. We're gonna have 86 and so forth. What took us out to the Friday? 86. Let's go to the 5-minute time frame. 5 minutes, right here, clear as day. Ran up to 686 Friday, pull back. 686 Friday, pull back, and then remember, what did we fall underneath? Pre-market highs, areas of 84s, 83s, 82s, and look where you're getting stuffed at right now, Aussie. Look, 82s, and you underneath the 200-day moving average. Look how it's still looking weak from Fridays into post-market. That still looks weak. Look how it's still turning. It's still turning. So right now 82 is resistance. 82s, as sellers are still back down towards the what? 80s. And even on Fridays, it looked like almost like an inverted cup and handle pattern just on that intraday. So I do see some possible more weakness coming, some more downside coming. So I would just say gear up for possible more downsides to come, Queen. As low as down towards, I mean, we may pull back down as low as the 678s. Like I said, the areas that I want to see us pull back down towards the 676 and 675s. That's what I would like to see, even lower. So I would definitely say keep your eyes peeled on that. So, Queen, is there any other stocks that you want to go over in particular? Because I know this is spotted with you guys. For those who didn't come in today for my live, I will be talking about the same exact thing going into tomorrow. So I'll be doing the same talking points. But yeah, your 15 minutes, and I started to learn. I started to use the 15 minutes really well. Shout out to Primo, shout out to K Capitals, and using it to the best of my abilities. Because again, the 15 minutes, what I did was I watched the 686 couldn't break out. What I started to do was wait for those red candles to kick in after that retest. And this is what I did, Aussie. Like I said, after we bounce back up, after this little pullback. Oh, yeah, I see it. I'm getting an error on my YouTube. It's an error. I see an error on it. But it's always do that for the weekend. I don't know why it does it on the weekend. It's like, I don't know why the bit rates get lower over the weekend. That's crazy. And I'm streaming off of one channel, YouTube. Let me see if it's going to try to fix itself, Queen. Hopefully it can refix itself. Yeah, give it some time. I don't know why it does that. It's annoying. But yeah, guys, we already know. Like I said, how I played Friday was after this move on up and those buyers started to step out and those sellers came in. All I did, guys, was watch 686. All I did was take my 15-minute time frame. I look at this first high off this red candle, and then after that, I wanted to make sure that next candle over wasn't gonna go back up towards the 686. Once I started to see that weakness and that pullback, I'm sorry. God dang, she lost me. Oh, this error crap, man. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Quinn. Thank you. Okay. So yeah. So all I did, Aussie, Friday, it was risky, but I took it. Because what I was doing was I was trying to play my way back down to the VWAP. So what I did was I had to identify myself, where was the resistance at? Where could I play the pull back down to? So the main thing I kept noticing was 686. Once we went on that run up, we got hammered where? 686. So as we crossed over for the second half of the market, my goal, because remember, you got to treat the market like a college basketball game. Remember, you have two halves. You have the first half, which is around 9:30 to 11:30, in that section up to 12 o'clock, however you want to look at it. And then your second half is from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So the question is, can the second half outperform the first half? If you notice, crossing over to the second half, nope, we could not outdo the first half top, which is around what price point? 686. So going into the second half of the market, what happened? Instead of continuing on up above 686, we got rejected at 686 and pulled back down for the second half of the market, right? Because 686 held up as a brick wall. So that required you to go from buyers to sellers, red to green. 686 held up as a brick wall. As we ran up, I waited for the second candle here. I started to see this red candle step in. Then my goal was to ride that bad boy back on down to 684s, down towards the 682s, which is why I took out instead of, because it was cutting too close towards the market close. I did not want to take a risk on a Friday. Hell no. So, $4, I'll take a $4 pullback. That's better than nothing. You know what I mean? Think about it. 686 to 682, that's $4. That's better than nothing. You're still banking on it. Now, the question is, how we're going to set up going into next week is the $1 million question. We already failed underneath 686. We couldn't stay above 686. That's a wall. 684, we know that's going to be some type of psychological level. That's a wall. Then you're underneath what? 682. that's also another wall. That means that if we want to see the upside or see the transition, God, it's not your fault, Aussie. It's the OBS. OBS is, and I'll show you. OBS is doing that. I don't know why it does that. It's annoying, man. I can't pull it down right now. God dang it, I can't pull it. But yeah, showing the error. It's showing. I'm not gonna be here for long. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna soon be closing it out. And like I said, the same talking points that I'm doing today, I'm gonna be doing tomorrow. We're gonna be breaking down everything, how to understand the rhythms, because all the market is a rhythm, man. It's a rhythm of an uptrend, a rhythm of a downtrend, a rhythm of a range. That's all it is. And once you identify yourself with that, man, play off on it. Think about it. We got hammered where? 686. We could not break it. Possible put opportunity for the what? The move back down to the downside. All we did is create an inverted cup right here. After this bounce back on up and we tried to retest, this is where I got in at. No, I didn't get in here. I got in here for a possible bigger pullback. We already pulled back down. Now what I was expecting was a bigger pullback underneath the areas of 84s, even lower down to the 82s. And which is what I did. So that's what I was anticipating. That was gonna break through this floor and go down to an even lower level, in which we did. Went down from 686 down to 682. But yeah, guys, I'm about to soon be heading on out. I know it's Valentine's Day. Everybody about to be getting ready for their dinners and everything. But I will be back, and and like I said, because of the bit rates, I do apologize, man. It's showing an error, and it's not me doing this, man. I don't know why it does this. Oh, now it's showing no. Let me see if it's gonna correct itself. Let me see if it's gonna fix itself. Give me let me see, guys. Right now, it's saying no data. I don't know why it does this. Let me see if it's gonna fix itself before I head on out. Still showing an error. See, it's still doing it, man. I don't know what to do with the bit rates on this damn thing. It's annoying. But yeah, guys, like I said, the talking points that we did go over today, I'm gonna do the same exact thing tomorrow for those who didn't come into the live stream, because I know a lot of people are busy. It's Valentine's Day. Everybody's with their loved ones and so forth. Also, I definitely appreciate you for coming in, guys. And tomorrow, like I said, if you guys want to do a ticker request, you can do a ticker request. You can bring up any tickers. We'll go over it. And set you guys up for next week, of course. I just want to go over SPY to let people know, how just to identify yourself and not stress yourself out, especially on a Friday. It's very risky, it's very gambly, but to not stress yourself out on a Friday and still make the best of a Friday on a trade. If you missed the move on up, how can I play the move back on down? Take the meat of the move. If you missed the front end of the move, catch the back end of the move. But yeah, guys, I'm about to be heading on out in a few, man. Cause like I said, this damn bit rate thing is always over the weekend. I don't know why it creates less bit rates over the weekend versus on the weekdays. It's weird. I don't know how OBS does this crap. It's strange to me on how it does this. Let me see. Let me go ahead and give a shout out for just everybody who did join me, man. I appreciate you guys. So thank y'all so much, man. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to the team, man. W team. As always, W to my mods. Y'all already know what time it is. I thank y'all so much for everything. I definitely appreciate you guys. I will be back in tomorrow, and we'll be going over the same talking points tomorrow too. And like I said, excuse me, sinus. If you all new to my channel, man, please hit the subscribe button, guys. It goes a long ways. If you're already subscribed, hit them thumbs up. If you're on my Kick and my Twitch, do follow, subscribe to avoid the ads, guys. So what I'll do is, knowing that I'm not streaming on Twitch and Kick, I'll take what I have here and I'll load it to the Twitch so you guys can still watch it. But other than that, man, guys, I definitely appreciate you guys for everything. I'm about to be heading on out. Sorry about that. Heading on out. Enjoy the rest of this Valentine's Day, man. And guys, I want you guys to go enjoy your Valentine's Day, man. Enjoy that time with your loved ones, man. Life is short, time is short. Do as much as you can. Yeah, no problem at all, Queen. And again, I'm gonna reset tomorrow, and we'll go over the same talking points. And also, if you have any tickets you want to go over tomorrow, just have them written down. Whether it's other than SPY, we'll go ahead and break everything down. Apple, Tesla, Amazon, penny stocks, whatever you trading, we'll go over it, Queen. Because you always have my back. You're one of my day ones, so I'll help you break things down and get yourself set up. But I just went over the talking points for SPY to let people know on what type of setup we had to set up over the whole entire weekend, or how you could prep yourself. And like I said before I head on out, the setup was right there in front of your face. 1 hour time frame. Look right here. Take some time to understand it. What did you have right in front of you? Inverted cup and handle. Bam, bam, bam. Easy. But just take your time. Take your time to understand the setups. But it's not hard, guys. And we're going to keep going. We're going to keep breaking things down and help you guys out through all of these things. So I got y'all, man. So let me go ahead and head on out, man. I definitely appreciate y'all for coming through, man. Again, I hope everybody have a blessed weekend. Enjoy your weekend. I will be back tomorrow. I will let you guys know what time I'll be coming back on. It's going to pretty much be in the evening, you know, especially Sundays out there, everybody get out of church and everything. So roughly, I want to say 4 or 5-ish, somewhere in that bracket. But I'll let you guys know. But thank y'all so much for tuning in today, man, for, you know, allowing me to be a part of you, or take some of you guys' time up a little bit so I can help you guys out as much as possible. And again, we will be going over the same talking points tomorrow. So we got that. So other than that, guys, man, I hope everybody have a happy Valentine's Day to you. You already know what I'm about to say before I head on out. Maximize your reward, minimize your risk. Always put grateful over greed, and you will succeed every single time. Till then, guys, I'll see some of you guys tomorrow. And if not, I'll see you guys next week, though, man. Love y'all. Y'all stay blessed. Stay safe, man. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. Peace.
Subscribe for more content.